Hello, Tom Canning here. Welcome to a slightly different Football in Berkshire podcast. This weekend, Sunday the 27th of July, is the inaugural PLAION Launchpad Berkshire Fives, a charity five-a-side competition raising money for Launchpad, Reading's homelessness charity. We've very kindly been sponsored by PLAION, a worldwide video games distributor with a UK office in Theale, and we say a huge thank you to them for putting up the funds to get the tournament on. This year, I've worked with the charity, taking part in a sleep out at Reading Abbey and run the Green Park 10K, raising approximately £1,000 over both events, which, needless to say, I'm pretty chuffed about. It's a brilliant charity in the centre of Reading, and I hope we can send a little bit more their way on Sunday. Never one to miss an opportunity for new content, though. I had the idea of asking a few people in the non-league game to pick their own five-a-side team, and the first person I went to was Slough Town manager and former Republic of Ireland international Scott Davies. I spoke to Scott about a month ago, just as he was bringing players through the door at Slough Town. True to form, I got confused about my own concept and managed to get him to pick 6 players. Despite that, I got some great insight into the former Reading FC pros Scott has played with in his career, and that has proved really timely with Dave Kitson taking a role locally at Maidenhead United. There is a little bit of an issue with the sound about halfway through, for which I apologise, but I thought it worth keeping it all in. Enjoy the episode. I'll have the award-winning Devon Reed, manager of Westwood Wanderers, later this week, as well as an episode of Danny Robinson versus Robbie Stelling as they pick their teams. And if you do enjoy it, please consider making a donation to Launchpad, which you can do at donate.launchpadreading.org.uk. Here's Scott Davies. Welcome, Scott Davies, Slough Town manager. You're back from holiday. I've just been watching your video on the Slough Town page. No tan, you've been inside a lot.
I have been, yeah. I was going to say the heat out there was extremely hot. I'm obviously not built for the sun with my Irish sort of heritage. So, no, it was a good time away. It was nice. But I was going to say it's back to the bump and grind now of obviously work and football.
Yeah, indeed. Scott, we are picking your five-a-side team today for the. Let's just be clear: you're not going to be bringing this team to the PLAION Launchpad Berkshire Fives, which is the longest name I think for a tournament I could have come up with. But it is all in aid of a bit of fun and the charity, which is Launchpad Reading's homeless charity, raising money to help the less fortunate on the streets of Reading. Your team, you've sent me your team, Scott. We're going to go through the team. You've chosen the formation 1-2-2. Obviously, that means I guess we've gone for a goalkeeper and 2 defenders and 2 attackers. So this seems a little bit cavalier, Scott. How do you feel about it? Are you still confident?
Yeah, good balance. I was going to say, as much as you want to score goals, I think the defenders can go and join in with the front men, and they can defend as a team. So I think you've always got to have that solid base, haven't you? I'm not the best five-a-side player myself. I'd rather just play at the back and give the ball to someone else who can go and do some tricks and score some goals. So yeah, there was a bit of thought process put towards it.
It's interesting. Just going through your team, it's a very Reading centric team with I think one exception. But you've also curiously not put yourself in the team, as you say. Don't fancy yourself as a five-a-side player that much.
No, most of my sort of good stuff within a match now is longer distance, whether it's hitting diagonal balls or scoring free kicks. So for me, I wouldn't pick myself, and that's just, I've got to be honest. I was going to say I'd have had to have a long chat with myself and said, you're not making the team this week. So that's the reasons why.
Okay, well let's get going through it. So your goalkeeper, you have picked former Reading goalkeeper Alex McCarthy. you said so. So I should say as well, just to set this up, we will go through each player. We will go through a reason why you want them in the team, and then a reason that something you would tell another manager who's sniffing around your player, why they wouldn't want to have them in their team. If that makes sense to everybody listening, as usual, I'm doing this all out of order. So Alex McCarthy, ex-Reading goalkeeper. You obviously played with Alex.
Yeah, so he came on trial as a 16-year-old, maybe from Wickham. I remember I was captain of the under-18s at the time, and we went on a pre-season tour or a mid-season tour to France, and I had to take him under my wing. And my professionalism at the time wasn't the best, so it was probably a bad wing to be under. But yeah, he's gone and done all right for himself. Obviously, played a number of years in the Premier League. He's been in the England squads. But yeah, no, it seems like a distant memory now, all those years ago.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, you said to me you've written just a great keeper, top lad, played in the Premier League, which speaks for itself. Which I think, and he's still going strong, isn't he?
Yeah, I was going to say he's still in and around at Southampton. I know that he's fantastic at his golf, so it's probably something that he'll do once he finishes playing. But yeah, I think his career has been exceptionally good. You see him, some of the saves he's pulled off for Southampton in the last few years. I watch closely in terms of old teammates and how they get on. And they wouldn't
Mm.
even know that, but you obviously take a little bit of care and pride in people that you've played with and you know. And yeah, listen, he's had a great career.
Um, the thing that you would tell another manager who's sniffing around, you've written, he's no good with the ball at his feet. Now, obviously, in five-a-side, that's quite crucial.
And to be fair, I'm only going off when we used to play with him. He was a shot stopper. He was a big lad. He would come and command his box. It wasn't like football as it is now. He's a lot better than what he used to be at sort of 16 years old. The Southampton way is tiki-taka football. So, no, he's definitely improved with his feet. You don't play in the Premier League if you can't. So, that would probably be the reason, though, in six-a-side, if someone's going to shut him down. You just never know.
I don't think I've established in the rules here whether you're allowed in the box, so he might get away with it in this five-a-side tournament. I don't think we've quite established whether that's a thing or not. Let's move on to your defender, first defender, Seamus Coleman, Everton. Seamus Coleman, still playing at Goodison. And obviously, hopefully, Bramley more next season with a bit of luck. You've said about Seamus, dynamic, quick, and good on the ball too. Tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about your history with Seamus.
Well, he's an Everton legend, obviously. He rocked up to the under-19s Ireland squad, and we'd never seen him before. I think he was playing for Sligo at the time, and we're thinking, like, who's this lad? He's not been in the under-17s. He came in and remember, he had a really scruffy tracksuit on and a pair of muddy trainers, and everyone kind of judges him. He took my position as a right back in the squad that evening. I moved into central midfield. I think it was against Switzerland, and he played and he was absolutely incredible, and everyone's just like, wow. But I think that's probably the case of don't judge a book by its cover. And then after that, he got a move to Everton not long after. And then the rest is history. I think he's into his 300 appearances or so, maybe even 400 for Everton, which is an incredible achievement. And he's gone down in the history books there.
For for your comment to other managers sniffing around, you've just simply written, "He's an angry man."
Yeah, well, that's the typical Irish. I was going to say you do get some that are very laid back, and you get the others, the flip side of the coin, who can be very angry. I think even if you've seen enough Premier League games and you've watched Everton from time to time, I think he dictates and demands. He barks, bollocks, and bites. That's the impression or phrase that we use, because that's just the person he is. But that's probably why he's got him where he is today.
Um, okay, let's move on to his defensive partner. You've gone with Kyle McFadzean. I hope I've pronounced his name correctly there. That's terrible. I should have done some pronunciation checks.
Yeah, Carl McFadden. He is probably one of the best players I've ever played with, and has never reached his full potential. And the reason why I say never reached his full potential, he's played a number of games in the Championship, but I've obviously played with players that played in the Premier League, and I think he's better than some of them. He's so good, naturally talented. Um, Not the brightest. Is probably one of the fairest things to say, but he doesn't realise how good he was at the time when we were together at Crawley. Everyone used to rave about him. Um, and he was still playing at Blackburn last year at 37, 38 years old in the Championship. So that shows
Yeah.
obviously how good you have to be to play in the Championship at that age. But yeah, what an incredible player.
It looks like he's just been playing for Chesterfield as well towards the end of this current season. So 4 England C caps as well. So as you say, really good career. Milton, MK Dons, Burton Albion, Coventry City. 100, according to Wikipedia, 155 appearances for Coventry City. That's not awful, is it? That's a pretty
Nah.
good run for a player.
Yeah, it's a massive club, so to play that long there, and I know he's actually a bit of a legend at Coventry. They got to the playoff final, didn't they? And lost on
Mm.
penalties to go to the Premier League. So I'm gutted for him that he's never played in the Prem because I actually think he's superb. He's very, very good.
We've already covered off the what you'd say if another manager was sniffing around. But you just right. He's arguably the thickest player I've ever played with, which I did enjoy reading out loud. So
He would claim that himself as well. So
right.
he knows that people, that's what they hammer him for. He's very jovial. He's full of banter. So it wouldn't be anything that he's not heard before.
Ah, it's all good. Right. I'm just looking at this actually. I feel like perhaps I've actually asked for 6 players, which is a bit weird. I think I must have put one down for a substitute. I've forgotten my own format halfway through because we've got a couple more players to get through. But we've got next player we've got in there is possibly one of the best midfielders Reading have ever had. This would be Gylfi Sigurdsson.
Yeah, just natural ability, couldn't really run, which is probably one of the weirdest things to say. Probably very one paced, but unbelievably talented. Some of the things that he used to do in training and then do it on the biggest stage was a joy to watch. He came in, I remember, probably at 14, 15 years old from Iceland. And at the time, he wasn't like a standout. He really wasn't. And then there was one season where everything sort of the penny just dropped. He actually took my place in the team that year. I remember we played Burton Albion in the cup, the Carabao Cup, and they rested me for that game, so I played the first league game of the season. And I think Gylfi scored 2, and then within a few games, I was out of the team. He was in the team, and the rest is history. I think he got 18 goals in 34 games that year, if I'm right in saying. And then went to Hoffenheim for £8.5 million. So yeah, he did incredibly well. But some of the goals he scored, a catalogue of finishes and top corners that he's found in the past 10 years is just
Yeah,
ridiculous.
sort of top corners reminiscent of some of your free kicks at times, Scott.
Yeah, the problem is mine were in front of 500 people. His were in front of 50,000. So that's similar goals, but yeah, different stadiums, different levels. So nah, he's had like obviously a wonderful career. Yeah, done extremely well for
Mm.
himself.
And again, yes, we've referenced the fact he's not the most mobile. I'm a little worried about this team, Scott. It doesn't necessarily feet and mobility. I'm a little worried so far, but I think the next player might solve that problem.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have to remind me who it is now because I've gone completely blank. Oh, of
Shh.
course, yeah, yeah.
Shane
So
Long.
I've
Shane Long.
complimented some of the players in the team with work rate, effort, tenacity, desire, endeavour. And I think we all know that he epitomises that. Nightmare to play against, just doesn't stop. Complete pain in the ass. One of the nicest people you could wish to meet. So I'm a huge fan of him as a person. From a great family, all those types of things. So it would be wrong of me not to have him in the team. Had an incredible career. Some of the highlights, I look back to the goal he scored for Ireland against Germany. I remember I was jumping off my sofa because I was just so pleased for him. So yeah, no, I love Longy to pieces. We don't speak as much anymore. We don't bump into each other, but yeah, fantastic player who's had a great career. Who's fully deserving of it.
He was one. It was I think sort of one of the my most favourite memories of various transfer windows for Reading, where that Shane Long's been spotted in the Oracle, Shane Long's been spotted in Reading, and then eventually, obviously, he did come back to Reading.
Yeah, I saw all that stuff as well. I was wondering what was going on at the time. I didn't really understand it, but yeah, when I've obviously looked into it, delved into it, I've realised why. But yeah,
Yeah,
it was the homecoming really, wasn't it? Because he was
it
he was
was.
loved
Yeah,
by everyone, and rightly so. Because most of the time, fans just want to see players work hard, but he worked hard with obviously a lot of quality to go with that as well. So you're always going to be loved and liked by, I guess, the Royals faithful when you give them that.
I remember as well. There was a I can't remember, I don't know. I don't watch a lot of Reading games, but whatever game it was, there was a stat came up when he'd reached the same number of starts for Reading as he had off the subs bench, because he was regularly in his younger days off the bench, wasn't he? And there was whatever it was he'd finally reached the same number of start. There was little cheer went around. It was lovely.
Yeah, well, he was never gonna get Dave Kitson, Kevin Doyle, Leroy Leiter out of the team at the beginning. He was obviously a young lad that come over from Ireland that was probably better at hurling at the time than he was at football. Unbelievable to watch him at hurling, by the way. So some of the Irish boys used to bring in their, I don't know what they're called, bats. Are they the hurling bats, or I
Oh
don't know,
God, we've offended a
ra-
nation.
rackets or bats? I should know that, but they used to smash it to each other from about 100 yards away, straight into someone
Wow.
else's hand. It was incredible to watch. But yeah, no, they were an unbelievable team. I was quite lucky to almost be a season ticket holder then as an apprentice, and then a young pro. One of the best teams I've had the pleasure of watching.
Hmm. If another manager came sniffing around, you've just written, you wouldn't be able to understand his accent.
Yeah, but you get used to it over time. He's got the Tipperary accent. I obviously understand it because I've been around him for a while, but yeah, some people wouldn't. But the thing is with Longy, I was going to say, I think he's adapted to the English way of life now. He's been over here for longer than what he would have been alive. So he's been over here half his life. Sorry. So yeah, he's no great person, but the accent would put a few off.
Right, we have got our substitute, and you've already just mentioned him. We've got our substitute that you'd bring on. We've gone for, and this this strike, this front two, Dave Kitson, still going strong as well.
Yeah,
I've seen him play for Caversham United. Still got it. Still scoring goals.
Yeah, I played with Kits more so at Oxford United than I did at Reading. At Reading, I was obviously a younger pro and didn't play with him in the first team there unless it was training or pre-season friendlies. But I was always amazed. He's someone that's so tall and gangly, was just so good. Left foot, right foot, aerially, just everything. And then at Oxford United, he was a character as well that I kind of got to know a little bit better because I was then a first team player. You spend more time with him, and yeah, for me, he's good for the morale in and around the group. So it'd be wrong not to have him. I remember saying to him one day, like, "What foot are you, left or right footed?" And he was like, "I don't actually know." I said, "If you took a penalty, what would you take the penalty with?" And he was like, "I'm not sure." He's like, "Some days I might take it with my left foot, some days might take it with my right foot," and that just shows to me the natural ability of someone when they don't know what foot they are. I certainly know that I'm right-footed. My left one's for standing on, and every now and again making a tackle with that I might miss time. So, but he was just so clean in his technique on off both feet, which I've never seen before, not to that extent. But yeah, no, good person to have in and around the group for sure.
I enjoyed your reason to put off another manager. It's just simply take him.
Yeah, to be fair, if he's on the bench, he'll do your head in. At some point, he'll just say, "Listen," he'll just say, "Scotty, I'm off. I'm going." He's not a bench player. He's certainly not that. He's someone that loves playing football.
Mm.
And I've been around at times when he's not been playing. He's not the easiest to manage because he just loves the game. And there's nothing wrong with that. So, yeah, if he was on the bench for us, I think I'd just say, "Listen, get your bags, get your boots, and off you go."
Okay, rounding things off just before a couple of quick fire final questions. Manager, you've gone with Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah, I would have to go with him because if we don't have the best team in the world and there's other better if there's better teams than ours, then I think he'll find a way. Obviously, coaching wise, I had him as an under 16 when I first joined the club. Then he left in about 3 months into that scholarship of mine, then came back as first team manager, and I was completely blown away with the standard and the quality of coaching. And he's also a really good person as well. So really enjoyed my time under him. And he's gone on to reap the rewards, hasn't he? Like
Mm.
he's a world class manager now, who I would really like to see back in the Premier League, if I'm honest. So we can keep a little bit of a closer eye on him. And I think that day will happen because he's winning everything at a canter up in
Mm.
Celtic, and it's obviously good to see.
Okay, Scott, thank you for your team, your 6 players, and your manager. I've got a couple of quick fire questions. What colours are you playing in?
Green, I think, for the Irish background in me, I think it'd be wrong not to. So I tried to go with an all green kit.
Oh. Oh, I like it.
Well, white shorts, but all green shirt. I don't want
Okay.
any trims or anything like that. Mhm.
Where are you getting that kit from? Are we going down Sports
What?
Direct? Are we going direct to? Are
No.
we pulling some
Do you
favours with
know?
Adidas or whatever?
I'm big fans of Macron.
Okay.
We've had Macron kit for the last few years at Slough, and I think it's very nice. I think you can pay over the odds now for your Nike and your Adidas. I think Macron are actually, yeah, they're making their mark in the game.
Mm.
Good stuff, nice stuff. So I'll go for a little Macron green kit.
You do have to get it a size up though. Whatever size you
Yeah, it
think
does
you
come
are, it's
up
the next
tight.
one up. Yeah.
My large that I had to wear this year got a little bit tight in around Christmas. So yeah, I might go for an XL next season.
And which of the guys in the team is sponsoring this? Who's getting their dad or their mum to sponsor the kit to pay for it?
Be fair, who's the richest out of them lot? I don't know. Between the five or six of them, I'm sure they can club in and put in a few quid together. Am I right in saying they've all played in the Premier League bar Kyle, so we shouldn't be short of a quid or two.
Okay. Who's taking the bibs and the balls home when you're finished?
Probably me.
Okay.
I'm guessing. Yeah, when you've got people of that calibre in the squad, I'll probably be washing the kit, picking up the balls, bibs, and cones. The old BBC we call them. So yeah, I'll be the BBC man that day.
Okay. Who's running late for the game? Who's turning up just as kickoff starts?
Oh, kids. Yeah, I'll tell you, Kits, he's probably overslept. He did come in every now and again with bedhead. Sometimes as well, he used to come in with a can of Coke in the morning. I might be wrong in saying this. It was either because he's tired or he had a headache. I remember him drinking a can of Coke on one morning. I was thinking, we're about to train. Can't remember the excuse, but probably because he was tired, needed a sugar rush.
Last one of my favourite things about five-a-side football turning up for a game is always someone wearing trainers. Who's wearing trainers in that lot?
Ah, Kits as well. Yeah, he's probably got a pair of Adidas runners on. Not really too fussed, not really bothered. Because he can play football in anything. When you're that good, I guess you can. So yeah, definitely him all day long. Out of the six of them.
Brilliant. Scott, thank you for joining me on the first PLAION Launchpad Berkshire 5's special podcast.
No, thanks for having me, Tom. Appreciate it, and obviously, good luck with what you guys are trying to do. I think it's a great idea, great initiative, and I'm sure it'll work well.
A huge thank you to Scott Davies there for his time. Scott's side, Slough Town, start their Enterprise National League South campaign on Saturday the 9th of August, away to Tonbridge Angels. You can then see them at home on Saturday the 16th of August against Hemel Hempstead Town. As I say, thanks to Scott. Thank you again to PLAION for sponsoring the tournament and allowing us to get it going. And if you would like to make a donation to Launchpad as part of all of this, you can do that at donate.launchpadreading.org.uk. Don't forget, there are more episodes in the five-a-side series coming this week, and we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to know your five-a-side team, and there are some excellent ones still to come. Look out for them, subscribe, whatever you got to do. I also have to credit the wonderful Rocket Kings, whose music is at the start and the end of this podcast. The song is called Space Camp. It is available on all good streaming services. See you soon.